Hello. On December 17th, 2025, a protest took place in Columbus, Ohio, commonly referred to by participants as the Woody or Wexner protest. The following the following compilation consists of four interviews conducted with individuals who chose to attend the event. While the interviewees often reference similar concerns, themes, and dynamics surrounding the protest, each brings a distinct personal history, motivation, and relationship to the issue. Some have long standing experience with advocacy, while others describe their involvement as more recent or situational. These interviews are presented without narration or commentary to allow each participant to articulate their perspective in their own words. Taken together, they offer a cross section of how people understand, justify, and emotionally relate to the cause they gathered around that day. Hello, sir. It's great to interview. Thank you for agreeing to this. I would like to ask you, what's your personal motivation for joining this protest, and what is the objective of this protest, in your opinion?
Right. So I would say my personal motivation for this is I'm a former student athlete at the Ohio State University. I was part of the diving team, and because of the connection that I've had to Ohio State University athletics, I personally, would like to see these changes, and not having the name of a pedophile connected to the various athletic buildings. I don't think that is representative of what the university athletics should be. So then I guess the motivation and purpose of this, or objective of this protest, would be simply that, getting the removal of Wexner's name, since that it should not be like that. That is not what university athletics should be about.
Thank you, I understand. What are your opinions on OSU leadership on this issue and in general, and why?
Well, I think as it relates to this issue, I've seen, this isn't the first effort that I've seen to have this change happen, and seeing that not much has been done. Like, the name is still up, and not even just the this football building, but various other buildings on campus that still have Wexner's name. It almost seems like this is just not a priority and not something that leadership seems to care about. As it relates, as it relates to OSU leadership as a whole, me personally, I've not had the best experience with that, particularly as it relates to the results of the House versus NCAA lawsuit imposing roster limits, which is what resulted in me not being on the diving team anymore. It was just a really hard, I wasn't really I guess as supported in the consequences of that as I maybe felt I would have been helpful to me. So
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experience. I think you've already answered this question, so I really appreciate you answering how you view OSU's response regarding this matter. But how do you believe OSU will respond to this protest demand?
I mean, I guess maybe I'm a little bit cynical in thinking that the university will just continue to not care and ignore these demands. But I guess it would be important for us to hold out hope that through actions like these and other demonstrations that we could hopefully get the university to change.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your views and experience. Hello.
Thank you for holding this interview with me. My first question would be, what's your personal motivation for joining this protest, and what would you describe as the objective of this protest?
Okay. Uh, my name is Rocky Ratliff, ROCKY, RATLIFF. I'm an attorney, and also I wrestled here for 2 years, 95 to 97. So I think this is the protest. To me, was holding the powers that be accountable for their actions and making sure that billionaires and people who donate to the university have the same obligations to live by societal rules as everyone else. It seems like we have two sets going on. One for everyday people like me, even though I'm an attorney, and one for billionaires like Mr. Wexner that doesn't have to set for depositions, put his name on buildings and just donate a little money, but he doesn't have to be socially held accountable. I think this is a way we can socially start holding people accountable, and the university needs to do the right thing. The things that happen here is survivors and people that have suffered through sexual abuse to come forward. The university should have had these conversations without us having to do this. This should have been easily done with the Board of Trustees model that we currently have.
What are you?
You want to answer?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wilson. I'm the former congressional candidate that ran against Jim Jordan, who is a U.S. congressman right now, who was also involved in the cover-up of the sexual abuse that happened here. He was the coach, the assistant coach, during the time that some of these wrestlers were abused. He recruited them, and then they were sexually abused by Doc Strauss. And if you see the documentary, you'll see how Jim Jordan admits to knowing how Doc Strauss is. So for me, I think the importance of this protest is to hold the university to a higher account. They want to present themselves as a place that exudes excellence and a higher standard, but yet when it comes to something as egregious as sexual abuse, they are really missing the mark, and they have not done anything close to what is right by the victims and survivors that, endured such horrible abuse.
Understand. Thank you for sharing that experience. What are your opinions on OSU leadership on this issue and in general, and why?
I think the leadership has failed tremendously, as Tammy just said, and why is I think they're hiding what really happened here. I don't think they really want to face the consequences of what happened here. There's a lot of times that I think about what's worse, the administration that was here when all the sexual abuse was happening, or you uncovered something.
And then you cover it. Right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. So they've been fighting us for 8 years. We've been in litigation for 7.5 years. So they're not like laying down and saying, hey, we're going to take care of you now that we know it. They're actually fighting us just as hard, if not worse.
Why?
That's a good question. You need to be asking them that. For me, I think it's all about covering up the powers that be. They know who did all this, and one of them is Mr. Wexner, which is what the protest was about. He is their golden boy when it comes to donations. That's great. But they need to do the right thing by survivors.
Yeah.
So just if you don't want questions to be asked, then I think you need to do the right thing, and they haven't. And they don't really address us anymore. So it's just what the university is. It's actually, sadly, some of this is who they are. You know what I mean? We have powerful people. Look at our board of trustees. It's CEOs of companies, banks, attorneys, and so forth. It's the who's who of Ohio running this place, appointed by the governor, and not answering the questions because it's their buddies and friends.
So, from my understanding, what you're saying is that it's even bigger than just Wexner.
Correct.
The corruption goes
Yes.
further.
Correct. There's no doubt.
It goes further than Ohio State.
Oh, and then Ohio State.
It
Could you
goes further
expand?
than just this university. It is in our government and then our federal government.
Yes, I was actually, in fact, talking to a sir who was from Michigan. He's a Michigan fan, and he was just telling me about a similar situation that is happening in Michigan University.
We've had issues at Penn State, Michigan State, Northwestern, Indiana basketball has stuff going on.
All the Big Ten schools
Big Ten
have had
schools.
lawsuits, and they've all covered them up. It's horrible.
How do you think OSU will respond to this protest's demand?
They're not going to like it, but the problem is they're not going to do much about it either. So they're not going to like it, and they'll continue to fight the survivors, and they will do nothing as far as any kind of investigation. They'll act like we're not even here today, which is a problem, you know. What do you think?
I think that it is it is an example of the systemic issue of not just the university but our state. There's a city council member that was just accused or arrested for sexual abuse, and he's not being removed from his position of being a city council member. We have a problem with sexual abuse, not just in this university, but the state and our country. And we need to have a reckoning with abuse in our country, and that is where we're at with everything. And people are fighting it because they know that they're guilty. They know that they would have to pay out more lawsuits. I think that's why Ohio State is fighting this so hard, because they don't want to have to pay out more money than the little few survivors that have spoken up now, because so far only close to possibly 2,000 survivors have come forward, but we suspect there's a lot more that haven't come forward. So I think they worry about that.
And I think as obviously you're a younger gentleman, I'm sure there's some research out there and you have a younger crowd, but the more you educate yourself, in October 30th, 2025, the head female of orthopedics sued this university for sexual reasons, Title IX, to this university. So you got to look up some of the stuff. It's just not happening what you witnessed today, but there's other factions of this university suing for Title IX. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff. We have a history here at Ohio State. The band director, a diving coach. We have this, and,
Yes,
you know, it's a
that's
lot of
right.
that.
And they get away with it.
Yeah,
And people that do speak up about it get fired.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could you give me any examples of people individuals who have been fired for
The
speaking up on
lady
this issue?
recently that spoke up about, she got fired for speaking up. That was just like a month or so ago.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
kicked off the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. kicked
When
off
this
the
first
team.
came
What
about,
was the name of the person who got kicked off at you? Oh, you.
I'm not sure. I can't remember the name,
Tad.
but that's
Right there,
DeLuca.
right knows.
Tad DeLuca.
Tad
That's the
DeLuca.
Michigan
It
guy.
was the Michigan
Okay.
thing,
The
but
Michigan
he
guy you
started
met
in
today.
Michigan. He
But
rolled
you
Understand.
got to
into
understand, I mean, you're talking to the whistleblower Mike DeSabdo right here. When this first came about, OSU hung his picture up and said, don't talk to this guy and don't let him in our facilities.
They ran
Wrestling
smear
room.
campaigns on the people that were speaking
Me too.
up.
Yeah.
So they blacklisted
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
was there.
Yes.
Yeah, you're there, whistleblowers. These are two
Just
of the
because he calls
whistleblowers.
himself the whistle.
Would you be comfortable appearing on camera right now?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Who
thank
you
you.
with?
Yeah,
Thank you so
appreciate
much for holding this interview with me.
Who you with?
Hello, sir. Thank you for agreeing with this interview with me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
My first question would be, what's your personal motivation for joining this protest? And what would you describe the objective of this protest?
Well, first, my name is Jeff Reeves, and I'm a Michigan man from Columbus, Ohio. Our objective is, like we talked about, the accountability, and we need to hold not only these two schools, Michigan and Ohio State, accountable, but all universities should be held accountable for some of the abuse and things that we dealt with as athletes. The naming of this building after a predator
Yes.
is not acceptable. So that's why I'm here to support my brethren with Ohio State. They supported us when we went through our situation in Ann Arbor.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. What are your opinions on OSU leadership on this issue and in general, and why?
I'm not close enough to, so I'm not going to slander anyone. I will just say is Ohio State hasn't stepped up
Yes.
and been accountable for what's happened. Jim Jordan, the congressman, swept it under the rug. The administration has swept it under the rug and haven't dealt with it. They have not been accountable, and somebody needs to hold them accountable. So I honor what these athletes are doing now, the ones that remain, that are challenging them to step up to the plate.
Would you be comfortable sharing a bit about your opinions on Michigan leadership and on this
Well,
on their
Michigan's
issue?
leadership is going through a lot of change right now. We got an interim president
Yes.
currently. We have an athletic department that's been investigated. We just fired our coach. And so there's a lot of ambiguity that's going on right now. I will tell you one thing though. The governor of Michigan
Yes.
stepped up and said you will be accountable and made the previous president and administration and the board pay up. And they ended up paying $497 million to 2,000 of us.
Huh. Thank you for sharing that. How has OSU responded regarding this matter, and why, in your view? And what do you believe will be OSU's response to this protest's demands?
There'll be crickets. Ohio State believes they're above the rest, and they've always protected. I look at the business school in Blackwell's name, and Blackwell serving 7 years in prison for corruption.
Can you tell me a bit more about Blackwell?
Blackwell was one of the his buildings named after him right there at the business school. He all kind of mischievous things, not accountable. His name is still on the building, and he's serving 7 years in prison for that. And Ohio State hasn't taken that for accountability. So if they're not going to be accountable for that, they're definitely going to be accountable for the egregious things that are taking place with their doctor. That was their doctor, Jim Jordan, the congressman, and others here at this university. They just sweep it under the rug, and we're not stopping until we get there.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your opinions on this matter. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for holding this interview with me, sir. I would like to ask you firstly, what's your personal motivation for joining this protest, and how would you describe the objective of this protest?
Well, I'm here with my teammates. I wrestled at Ohio State between 91 and 96, and we're just trying to get some clarity with the issues that we've had with the university and see if they'll move forward and doing the right thing and taking Les Wexner's name off of the athletic facility.
I understand. Thank you for sharing that. What are your opinions on OSU leadership on this issue and in general, and why?
I'm really disappointed in them because they could be doing the right thing, and I don't know why they're turning their back on alumni. And it's just showing, like, if they're not going to remedy this now, when will they ever do that with any of the current students or future students? So it's like they have some work to do in trying to reclaim some of it. All right.
Be careful.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Yeah, that's definitely power, especially because I'm a current student at the OSU institution. How has OSU responded regarding this matter, and why, in your view? And what do you believe will be OSU's response to this protest's demands?
Well, they just keep ignoring us and just hoping we go away. But as you see, we're just not. So I just hope we can just come to the table and be able to come together again as a family and a proud alumni of this university.
Well, thank you so much for holding this interview with me, sir.